Hello students, welcome to Don Bosco PU College online classes. We are trying our best to make teaching learning experience easy to our students. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to never miss any update.
Hi dear students, welcome back to the next video of question paper solving. In our previous video, we have solved 18 questions of model paper 3. In this video, we are going to solve 19th question. See the 19th question in your question paper. Evaluate integration of x into secant square x dx. We have to find the integration of x into secant square x dx. So it is by using integration by parts. It is the first function and it is the second function. You need to remember integration by parts. Integration of first function into second function into dx. That is equals to first function into integration of second function minus integration of differentiation of the first function into integration of the second function into dx. It is the formula we know in our integration by parts. Now that is equals to first function, keep it as it is, integration of secant square x dx minus integration of differentiation of x, differentiation of the first function x into next integration of secant square x dx. Again we should integrate. That is equals to x into integration of secant square x is tan x minus integration of differentiation of x is 1, integration of secant square x is tan x dx. That is equals to x tan x minus integration of tan x is log of secant x plus c, where c is a constant of integration. It is the 19th question. Next, see the question number 20 in your question paper. Find the order and degree of the differential equation. So differential equation is given y triple dash plus 2y dash 2y double dash plus y dash equals to 0. Since we know that y dash is nothing but dy by dx, first order, first differentiation, second differentiation and third differentiation. What about the order and degree? What about the order and degree? Order. The highest derivative of the differential equation is called order. So highest derivative, it is first order, it is second order derivative, it is third order derivative. So order is 3. Then what about the degree? Degree. How to find the degree? The power of the highest derivative of the differential equation. Which is the highest derivative? Y triple dash. Y triple dash is the highest derivative. What about this power? 1. Therefore, the degree of the differential equation is 1. Hence, it is a solution for the question number 20. Next, see the question number 21. Find the projection of the vectors I cap. Find the projection of the vectors I plus 3j plus 7k on the vector 7i minus j plus 8k. We have to find the projection of the vector. So let us consider this vector will be A and this vector will be B. Now recall the projection of the vector in our vector algebra. So the vector A on B is A dot B divided by magnitude B. This you need to remember. First we should apply dot product, after that find its magnitude. So here itself you just find out its magnitude of B vector. We don't want magnitude of A, we want only magnitude B. So magnitude of B equals to square root of I component square 7 square plus j component square minus 1 whole square plus k component square is 8 square. So magnitude of b vector equals to 7 square is 49, 49 plus 1 is 50, 50 plus 64 is how much? 114. Square root of 114. Now apply a dot b. Now find out a dot b. A vector dot b vector equals to a vector I plus 3j plus 7k dot b vector 7i minus j plus 8k. Now apply dot product I component into I component, j component into j component, next k component into k component. That's it. That is equals to 7 minus 3 plus 56. Therefore a dot b equals to 7 minus 3 is 4, 4 plus 56 is 60. Now write the formula projection of a vector. Therefore projection of a vector on b vector is a dot b divided by magnitude b. So that is equals to a dot b is what? 60 divided by magnitude b is square root of 114. Hence it is a projection A on B. Hence it is a solution for this question. Next, see the 22nd question, number 22. Find the area of the parallelogram whose adjacent sides are given by the vectors. So vectors has given I minus j plus 3k and 2i minus 7j plus k. Here also he didn't define vector a and b. Here in the solution we are going to define a vector equals to and b vector equals to. So what is the area of a parallelogram whose adjacent sides are given? Remember the formula that magnitude of a cross b. It is the formula to find the area of a parallelogram when the adjacent sides are given in the vector form. So first we need to find the cross product a cross b. After finding the a cross b, we should find its magnitude. That magnitude will be the area of a parallelogram. So first to find out a cross b, cross product of a and b. A cross b equals to a cross b. How to find a cross b? By using the determinant method. First write I, j and k. After that write the components of a vector 1, minus 1 and plus 3. B vector, write the components of b vector 2, minus 1, plus 1. Now find out the determinant value. How to find the determinant? Plus, plus, minus and plus, like this. Now if we want I, delete that corresponding row and corresponding column. What we will get? Minus 1 into plus 1 is minus 1, minus of minus 3. I am just returning this sheet to the next page so that you just write this step in your notes. Sorry, it's minus 7, isn't it? 1 minus 1 plus 3, 2 minus 7 plus 1. Now let us find out the determinant of this a cross b. That is equals to, first write I cap, next j, next k. I hope everyone has written the determinant step in your notebook. We just observe that notebook. First we want I cap, so that you just delete that corresponding row and corresponding column. What we will get? Minus 1 into plus 1 is minus 1. So minus of 3 into minus 7 is minus 21. Next, if we want j, delete that corresponding row and corresponding column in that determinant. Then we will get the j components. 1 into 1 is 1, minus 3 into 2 is 6. Next, similarly delete the corresponding row and corresponding column of the k of k, then we will get 1 into minus 7 is minus 7, minus 1 into 2 is minus 2. It is A cross B. That is equals to plus 21 minus 1 is 20. 20 I cap. It is plus 5j. It is plus 5k. Sorry, it is minus 5k. Minus 5k. Minus 7 plus 2 is minus 5. So minus 5k. It is what? A cross B. Now find out magnitude of A cross B. So magnitude of A cross B equals to square root of, how to find magnitude? I component square 20 square, j component square 5 square, k component square is minus 5 whole square. That is equals to square root of 20 whole square is 400 plus 25 plus again 25. That is equals to square root of 450. Magnitude of A cross B equals to 450. Now write the conclusion. Therefore, area of a parallelogram equals to square root of 450 square units. Hence, it is a solution for this question. Now let us move on to the next question, 23rd question. See the 23rd question in your question paper. Find the equation of the plane with the intercepts 2, 3 and 4 on x, y and z axis respectively. We know that equation of a plane, first given intercepts a equals to 2, b equals to 3 and c equals to 4. Now write the equation of a plane in intercept form. Equation of a plane is x by a plus y by b plus z by c equals to 1. Now substitute a, b, c in this equation. So x by 2 plus y by 3 plus z by 4 equals to 1. Now what is the LCM of 2, 3 and 4? LCM of 2, 3 and 4 is what? LCM of 2, 3, 4. Find the LCM of 2, 3, 4. 2 ones are 2 twos are. 2 into 2 is 4. 4 into 3 is 12. 12 is the LCM. 12 is the LCM, that is equals to 1. Right hand side keep it as it is, that is 1. X by 2 into 12 is 6x. Y by 3 into 12 is 4y plus z by 4 into 12 is 3z. Now send this 12 to the right side, then we will get 6x plus 4y plus 3z equals to 12. Hence it is a required equation of a plane. So next we will move on to the next question, 24th question. See the 24th question in your question paper. That 24th question is probability question. See the question and read the question carefully. Assume that each born child is equally likely to be a boy or girl. If family has 2 children, what is the conditional probability of both are girls, given that the youngest is a girl? You just imagine a family has 2 children equally likely to be a boy or a girl. Then what is the sample space? Sample space will be both are boys, first boy, then girl, maybe first girl, second boy, maybe both are girls. Okay. Now number of elements in this sample space is what? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the number of outcomes is 4. Next, let us define the event E. Once again observe the question. What is the conditional probability of both are girls? So event E is defined as both are girls. Both are girls is nothing but GG. Then number of elements in the sample space E will be 1. How many elements in the event E? Only 1. Next, not 2. Both the girls is considered as only one outcome. Similarly, event F. Once again observe the question, what is the conditional probability of both are girls given that the youngest is a girl? So the youngest is a girl. Youngest is a girl. So what are the possibilities? First girl, then boy. First girl, second is also girl. G, B, first girl, second boy, both are girls. So what are the possibilities? How many outcomes in this event F? 1, 2. 2 events, not 4. These 2 taken as 1. These 2 taken as 1. 1, 1, 2. Now P of E by F we need to find. P of E by F equals to, by using the conditional probability, P of E intersection F divided by P of F. That is equals to, we don't have E intersection F. Let us find out E intersection F. That is equals to, E intersection F is what? G, G. So G and G. The number of elements in E intersection F is 1. That is equals to P of E intersection F. How to find P of E intersection F? N of E intersection F divided by N of S. Similarly, P of F is what? N of F divided by N of S. So N of S and N of S will get cancelled. That is equals to N of E intersection F divided by N of F. Hence that is equals to N of E intersection F is 1 by N of F is 2. Hence the conditional probability of both are girls given that the youngest is a girl is 1 by 2, that is 0.5. Hence it is a solution for this 24th question. Hence we have solved 24 questions in this question paper. Now let us move on to the 3 marks question. Once again I will repeat, we have solved 24 questions in this question paper. So out of 14 questions you have to attend 10 questions in a question paper. Next we will move on to the 3 marks question. In 3 marks questions is also same as compared to 2 marks, like answer any 10 of the following. Out of 14 questions you need to attend 10 questions. There will be 14 questions are there in your question paper. In that 14 you need to attend 10 questions. See the 25th question in your question paper. Show that the relation R defined in the set A of all triangles as R equals to, relation R equals to T1 comma T2 such that T1 is similar to T2. T1 is similar to T2 is an equivalence relation. We have to prove that this relation is an equivalence relation. Now if we want to prove it is an equivalence relation, we need to prove reflexive, symmetric and transitive. First let us prove reflexive. Recall the definition of reflexive. So what is, recall the definition of reflexive. What is the definition of reflexive? A comma A is belongs to R. For all elements is belongs to the given set A. It is reflexive. Now Here we will define T1 comma T1 is belongs to R for all T1 is belongs to the set A, because A is nothing but set A of all triangles. We know that T1 is similar to itself. T1 is similar to itself. Therefore, it is a reflexive relation. Hence, it is a reflexive relation. Triangle is similar to itself, so that it is a reflexive relation. Next, symmetric. Symmetric. Recall the definition of symmetric. A comma B belongs to R, then B comma A belongs to R. For all A comma B is belongs to the set A, like this. It is the definition of a reflexive. Now T1 is similar to T2. T1 comma T2 is belongs to R. Then T1 is similar to T2. For all T1 comma T2 is belongs to the set A. Then T1 is similar to T2. Then T2 is also similar to T1. Then T2 comma T1 is belongs to R. Therefore, it is a symmetric relation. Therefore, it is a symmetric relation. Next, transitive, reflexive, symmetric, and transitive. If a relation is said to be an equivalence relation, that relation must be a reflexive, symmetric, and transitive. So transitive, recall the definition of transitive. AB belongs to R, BC belongs to R, then AC is also belongs to R. For all A, B, C is belongs to the set A. It is the definition of transitive. So here T1 comma T2 belongs to R, T2, T3 belongs to R. So T1 comma T2 is belongs to R, which means T1 is similar to T2. If T2 comma T2 belongs to R, then T2 is similar to T3. If T1 is similar to T2, T2 is similar to T3, then T1 is similar to T3. That is T1 comma T3 is belongs to R. For all T1, T2, T3 is belongs to the set A. Therefore, hence it is transitive relation. It is a transitive relation. Hence, it is an equivalence relation. Okay, so hence it is a solution for this question. Next, see the 26th question in your question paper. For the matrix A, for the matrix A 1, 5, 6, 7, prove that A plus A dash is symmetric and A minus A dash is symmetric. First, to prove A plus A dash is symmetric and A minus A dash is symmetric, we need A transpose. How to find A transpose? 1, 5, row becomes column, column becomes rows. 1, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. It is A transpose. Now let us prove A plus A dash is symmetric and A minus A dash is skew symmetric. Symmetric and skew symmetric. Symmetric. Here we will prove skew symmetric. Already he said that a plus a dash is symmetric. Let us consider, let b equals to a plus a dash. So b equals to a plus a dash. So a is what? The given matrix 1 5 6 7 plus a dash, a transpose is 1 6 5 7. B equals to, add the corresponding elements, 1 plus 1 2, 5 plus 6 is 11, 6 plus 5, 7 plus 7 is 14. Hence it is B, the matrix B, a plus a dash. Now find out B transpose equals to B transpose 2 11, row becomes columns, column become row, 11 and 14. So symmetric matrix is nothing but if B equals to B dash. Therefore B equals to B dash. B and B dash, the matrix B and the transpose of that matrix B are equal. Therefore A plus A dash, I mean B matrix is symmetric. Therefore it is symmetric matrix. Therefore it is symmetric. Similarly, let us prove skew symmetric. A minus A dash is skew symmetric. Here we will take, let the matrix C equals to A minus A transpose. The matrix C equals to, the matrix A is what? 1 5 6 7 minus A transpose 1 6 5 7. The matrix C equals to 1 minus 1 is 0, 5 minus 6 is minus 1, 6 minus 5 is 1, 7 minus 7 is 0, 0, minus 1, 1 and 0. Next, find out C transpose. C transpose is what? 0, minus 1, 1 and 0. 0 minus 1, 0 minus 1, 1 0 1 0. Next, C transpose equals to, take minus outside in this matrix. I am taking minus outside. Minus is common from 0 is 0. Minus is common from plus 1, it will be minus 1. Minus is common from minus 1 is, it is plus 1, it is plus 1. Minus is common from 0 is 0. Therefore C transpose equals to minus 0 minus 1 1 0 is what? 0 0 minus 1 1 0 is C. That is equals to C transpose. C dash equals to minus C. Therefore the given matrix is skew symmetric. Therefore it is skew symmetric. Okay, I understand. Hence it is the solution for this question. Next we will move on to the next question. See the 27th question in your question paper. If x equals to 2a t square and y equals to a t power 4, then find dy by dx. It is a parametric equation. Now we have to find dy by dx. So first thing, differentiate with respect to t. Dx by dt equals to 2a. 2a is a constant. Keep it outside of the differentiation. Differentiation of t square is 2 into t. Now dx by dt equals to 2 into 2 is 4at. Next, similarly find differentiation of y with respect to t. dy by dt equals to, a is a constant, keep it outside. Differentiation of t power 4 is 4 into t cube. So dy by dt equals to 4a t cube. We want dy by dx. dy by dx equals to, so dy by dx, which means dy by dt whole divided by dx by dt. Substitute dy by dt and dx by dt in this. So dy by dt is 4a t cube, 4a t cube. Dx by dt is 4at, 4at. Now 4a will get cancelled, t and t cube will get cancelled, t square will be there, hence we will get t square. Therefore dy by dx equals to t square. Hence it is a solution for this 27th question. Okay, are you understand? See once again, differentiation of x with respect to t is 2a, t square is 2t. Differentiation of y with respect to t is a is a constant, keep it outside. Differentiation of t power 4 is 4 into t cube. Now 2 into 2 is 4 a t, 4 a t cube. It is dx by dt and it is dy by dt. But we need to find dy by dx. So dy by dx will be like this. Dy by dx equals to dy can be written as dy by dt, dy by dt whole divided by dx. Dx is what? Dx by dt, dx by dt. It is just like a blind symbol that if dt with respect to dt will get cancelled, what we will get? Dy by dx again, right? Like that you can remember. That is equals to dy by dt is 4a t cube, 4a t cube divided by dx by dt is 4a t, 4a t. 4a will get cancelled. Here 1 t we have, here t cube we have. In the numerator it is t cube, in the denominator it is t. If it get cancelled, then t square will be remaining. So dy by dx equals to t square. Okay. Now I think you understood. Okay dear students, hence it is the class for today. In this video we have solved 27 questions. Up to 27 we have solved. In the next video we are going to solve the questions starts from 28. Thank you.